Hola besis, bienvenidos a mi canal. Welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is the food that I have down in Colombia and how it makes me feel, what I enjoy, the differences, because that's one of the major things that you notice right away when you go anywhere outside of the States. Is it's always the food is different. A lot of people have a hard time adjusting to different kinds of food or different cultures, food and everything like that. I personally spent most of my life as a chef, so the idea of trying different kinds of food or having different kinds of food has always been a really kind of exciting experience for me, because I always get to try new things, taste different things, taste different flavors that it's not necessarily things that you would expect or think of or have maybe ever had before. Awesome experience. Some of my favorite things in Colombia is tamal for breakfast, buñuelos, arepitas con queso, arepitas con huevo, and mi mamá in Colombia makes the best caldo ever, like in the entire world, and the very best arepitas. Like, I have that for breakfast and it is amazing. It is the perfect way to start your day. Just the flavors, the textures, everything that goes along with it. It's mind-blowing, and it is the greatest thing that like I can possibly imagine. And I always thought it was really funny when I first started going down there and being with the family, because they were always very much like, you know, if you don't like it, you don't have to have it. Like, a lot of people may not like this. It's like, oh my God, I love everything. And I'm always so willing to try anything that they put in front of me. It's amazing. I can honestly say there's not a single thing that like I don't enjoy or I don't like. Things that like a lot of other Americans aren't necessarily used to. So things like lulo fruit or maracuja, platanitos, plantains, all things that like you don't really see a lot of or at all, because like lulo fruit and maracuja, not things that you can find in the States at all. I was just talking to my wife the other day about this and thought it was like one of those things that was absolutely hysterical, because her mom has made like fresh jugo de lulo or maracuja, guayabana, and they're always so excited when I try it. They're like, oh, tell me what you think, how is it? And I'm like, oh my God, it's delicious, it's perfect, like it's amazing, I wish we had this. And then I stopped and I thought about it and I'm like, wait a minute, you guys don't like seem like you make this stuff every single day. And it's like, it's surprising to me because it's incredible. And the accessibility of the fruit is like insane. You can walk down the street and find these little fruit stands or produce stands all up and down the street everywhere, no matter where you go, that always has like fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. Everything is like super fresh, super pure, and just buy whatever you want and go home and make this juice. And I'm like, dude, like if we had that in the States, like I'd be doing this every single day. And it's not like it's expensive. Like this stuff is fairly cheap. So like accessibility is like super amazing. And then you stop and you think about like how people view Americans and everything like that, or like the reputation that we have about like there's the obesity epidemic and there's always health problems and everything like that. And I thought about the difference in accessibility to things, where you can go there and you can find fresh, pure ingredients everywhere, like very much everywhere. Walking up and down the street, there's stands everywhere for everything. And then here, you have to go out of your way to be able to find like fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, pure ingredients. Everything is like so processed and manufactured and everything like that. And I'm like, it makes a huge difference. And after my first couple of visits down there, like I absolutely noticed that from the time I get there until the time I leave, like I can eat all the food, I can have whatever, and like physically, like I just feel better. I have higher energy levels. I have insane amounts of stamina. I can go like all day, whether we're like hiking through the mountains or going on trips or just walking around the city. But like the stamina and the energy levels, the mental acuity, the alertness that I have is so much more improved than when I am here. My stomach feels better, my bowels, everything feels better. And then immediately, as soon as I come back to the States and I have to start eating like the kind of food that we have here, it's just this massive downturn where it's like I start feeling like tired and sluggish and not so good. And it's like you don't realize exactly how much of an impact it has on you when you spend most of your time eating these like processed foods. And it's like, don't get me wrong, like when I'm back in the States, it's not like I'm eating junk food 24/7. I actually have like a fairly healthy diet. I try to stay away from like fast food restaurants, anything like that. Most absolutely everything that I eat is stuff that I make myself, you know, in my flat, not going out to restaurants or ordering or anything like that. So I try to use as many of like the fresh ingredients and everything as I can, but even simple things like bread. And I just had a conversation with one of my followers about this, where they asked if you notice the difference even in bread. And it's like, yeah, for whatever reason, like the bread down there is very, very different. And I'm not saying different as in like texture or flavor wise or anything like that. It's very similar to bread that we have here in the States, but you can absolutely tell that it's not as processed. There's not as many preservatives or as many artificial ingredients in the bread, and that makes a huge impact. So like you eat these things, you have these things, and you can genuinely feel the difference, immediately feel the difference. So that's another one of those things that like I absolutely love about being in Colombia, is the fact that like everything that you eat just tastes so much better. And like I said, you have things like caldo, you have sancocho de gallina, your arepas, your tamal, paradilla, all of these things. And it's, the flavors are incredible. My first experience down there, one of the first times that I was down there, her family took me to a little restaurant, and I can't remember the name of the dish, but it's basically like a whole bunch of different kind of like grilled meats and everything like that, where it's like chicken and chorizo and beef and everything. And on the side you get like a nice little cup of salsa, and it's ají salsa, and oh my god, like the flavor of that is so amazing. It's delicious. And once you have it, you kind of want it with pretty much everything that you have, just like even just a little taste, a little like just a little punch to like everything that you're eating. How they use like plantains in so many of the dishes. The like I said, I say it a lot because it's one of those things that like is incredible to me, but like the caldo that like that like mommy makes, like it's amazing. It's so amazing that like I learned when I come back to the States how much I miss all of the food down there, and how like I don't crave anything that we have here. Like I sit there each day trying to think of like what I should make for lunch or what I should make for dinner, and absolutely nothing sounds good. So a couple of months ago, I had this brilliant idea where like I was texting my wife and I'm like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you tell your mom to like send me a list of everything that she puts in her caldo so that like I can make it while I'm here? And she kind of laughed at me and everything, but like she's the greatest wife in the world. So of course she goes and asks her mom, and she's immediately texting me this list of like everything that goes into it. And like within an hour, I was at the grocery store picking everything up because I had to learn how to make caldo, so that like I had a little bit of the taste of home with me while I was back here. And it's a night and day difference. I eat that all the time. I really do. It's one of those things that like I just can't get away from, because it's one of the only thing that like sounds good or tastes good to me. So I want it, I crave it. It's one of those things that's like super important. I always look forward to going back home and spending time with mom and my wife and everything like that. And I always think it's funny because like every single time that like mommy's in the kitchen, I want to be right there and just watch and see how she does everything. One, because I love cooking. Two, because everything is delicious. And three, just because I love her. Like, I absolutely adore her. Like, I love spending time with her, and the way that like she laughs and smiles and everything like that when she's showing me things or trying to talk to me about things. It's some of my favorite experiences. I'm a fairly simple person. It doesn't take a lot to make me happy, and the little things are super, super, super important to me. So like even just sitting in the house and hanging out in the kitchen and talking and cooking and discussing life and thoughts and things like that, it's mind-blowing. It makes me so incredibly happy. You get an opportunity and you're in Colombia, try anything and everything you can, because so much of it is mind-blowing, so much of it is so delicious, and the flavors are incredible. Not quite like anything that you have ever had before. And I highly suggest that to anyone. Go to Colombia, go, like instantly go. There's so many things to love and appreciate there, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Remember to go ahead and like and subscribe. I will continue to post videos like this as often as possible. Usually I think the schedule that we have worked out right now is about once a week for the longer videos. But I do post shorts regularly where you can see more of my interactions, more videos of my visits, and just how we kind of do things when I get to be home with the family. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for all of the support, and feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions or thoughts or ideas. I'm always open to hearing from any of my followers and supporters. And until next time, ciao Bessie.